We have fresh cherries out front. Thank you, Sandra and William. And I know... And GMP orchards. And I'm sure we'll see William, at the end of cherry season, maybe?
Middle of July.
Middle of July? Yeah. I didn't know all about the cherry industry quite so much until Sandra and William started coming here. And I guess they pretty much have to get the crop out before the 4th of July because it has to go to the rest of the country by the 4th because that's kind of the starting point everywhere else. So for cherry, yeah.
Well, the other part too is that you're checking the sweetness constantly.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be today.
Yeah.
For them. And
so do they have a meter or they just pop it in their mouth?
That's the meter.
And the other part of it is that as they move through that, you have other things going on that he has 800 people working.
I know. Yeah.
They did 800 tons the other day. The tonnage is out of the sky.
Yeah.
And
that's 800 tons of cherries yesterday or a day before or whatever it was. Like, good grief.
And so it's a very intense.
Yeah.
You think they're just growing cherries. Oh no, cherries are running the world right now.
Cherry juice, cherry pie. So, yep. All right, t-shirts and sweatshirts that you could get but may not want to. I can only please one person per day. Today, it's not your day. Tomorrow, doesn't look much better either. Do you? All right. All right. Wish you were beer. Barbecue timer. Rare, 1 beer. Medium, 2 beers. Meat well done, 3 beers. So this has a theme today. I ran 2 times today. First I ran out of beer, then I ran out to get more. All right. We do have a couple patron saints, though, by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon.
Yay, John.
And, they're both right there. That's why. John said, "Words are flying out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass. They slip away across the universe." And George, by and large, language is a tool of concealing the truth.
Yeah.
Sometimes true. By the way, the cherries are free. Please make sure that none are out there when you leave. There is a small charge for the eggs and back, but they are fresh, like within the last day or so. And delicious. And colorful, too. Open up the box. There are all kinds of different colors. What, the eggs or the chickens?
Both.
Okay. Southern medical terms. Benign. What you be after you be 8. Artery. This is not an insult to the Southern. It's having fun. So, okay. Artery. The study of paintings. Bacteria. Back door to the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Barium. What doctors do when patients die. Cesarean section. A neighborhood in Rome. CAT scan, searching for kitty. Coma, a punctuation mark. Colic, a sheepdog. These are just goofy. They're just goofy. All right, things that make you go, The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Gandhi. So, if we had no faults of our own, we would not take so much pleasure in noticing those of others. Love is never lost. If not reciprocated, it will flow back and soften and purify the heart. Isn't that nice? Yeah. That was Washington Irving.
Would you read that again?
I will. I'd love to. Love is never lost. If not reciprocated, it will flow back and soften and purify the heart. We are shaped and fashioned by what we love. Life is a flower of which love is the honey. Isn't that nice? I like those. So, front page of the paper today, if anybody have seen it. That front page, cars from the Cool Desert Nights, those are all my buddies' cars. I mean, Joel's got a couple in there, Matt's got a couple, but it's all them. I was there earlier, but I didn't know the drone was up top. Otherwise, I would have waved. So, Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens, was born November 30th, 1835, the year Halley's Comet passed over the Earth. He vowed he would not die until he saw the famous comet for himself. He died the day after it passed the Earth in 1910. Wow. So that's kind of cool. Trying to figure out where I know I had one to read at the end. I can't find it, so I'll just do this one. Things that took over 50 years to learn. Never under any circumstances take a sleeping pill and a laxative on the same night. If you had to identify in one word the reason why the human race has not achieved and never will achieve its full potential, that word would be meetings. Yes. There's a very fine line between hobby and mental illness. Jan didn't hear that one, so. People who want to share their religious views with you almost never want you to share yours with them. Yeah. You should not confuse your career with your life. So, close enough. We'll move on. Anything else I need to know about? Any good barbecues or anything coming up? Or?
Not till next month.
Not till next month. Oh. Speaking of next month, the calendar. Actually, I was going to read the calendar. Only lost one thing. Qigong, of course, every Sunday before services. Little light this week, although Wednesday is National Chocolate Pudding Day. So that's important. Thursday is Intuitive Tarot. On Friday, Followers of the Way, which is, followers of Jesus. It's a great Bible study if you've never been in one, or you're just like, oh, God, I'm never going to go one of those things. Janice does an amazing job, so that's Friday evening for a couple hours, well, actually hour and a half. And then on Saturday, The Process with Josie. And I know, no?
Not here.
It's not here? Where is it?
At my house.
Okay. Well, but it's on the calendar. So, Josie, The Process, Josie's house. So, but Mary Lou does our calendar, and she takes it so seriously, and we thank her so much for that. She's been in the hospital. We went and saw her last night. Well, she's not doing great. So they have her intubated, and she's in ICU. So we went in to see her, and of course she can't talk, but she's calendar. She's worried because she couldn't quite get it. So yeah, she said it's about half done. So Cannot explain it. It's just the way it works. I've got an old Kenny Loggins song. You are so lucky that you've got a couple of old rockers as pastors. Actually, what's even worse? When I was that age, I was like, I did some kind of maybe sort of hippie things, but I really didn't. Yeah, I'm closer to it now than I was then.
Is it my turn now?
It's your turn.
Oh, he's a tough act to follow, I tell you. Welcome to the Divine Fellowship.
Thank you.
Let's have a prayer. I think that's not on. There we go.
Why? Was it something I said?
Yeah. Maybe.
This is a plea for sacred ground. Loving Spirit of light, plant my feet on sacred ground. Help me to view life from this sacred perspective. This sacred place holds no fear, no criticism, and no judgment. Just me, you, and this journey with clear discernment. Help me to see things as they truly are, rather than from perspective of pain and woundedness. Help me to see old wounds from this perspective. Help me understand my own pain reveals opportunities to learn and grow within my ascension process. From sacred ground, help me ascend. And the gratitude is, I am grateful for my journey to sacred ground.
Thank you. Thanks. Sacred ground. It's a great place. Here you are. There you are. Morning. Yes, for those of you who were not born when that song was popular. Born yet. We are not sorry. We had some young people in, and Phil played something really old, and they go, "That's a really cool song. Where's it?" Long before you were here. They made some good stuff in the old days. Did they not? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Sacred laughter. Isn't that a wonderful thing? I love it. Want to talk to you today about the 12 spiritual laws. And these laws are in effect whether you recognize them or not. It's like gravity. Gravity happens. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to, oh, I've got to concentrate on gravity today. No, it's just there. It's something you can utilize. If I step off this landing here and not pay attention, I'll fall, which I've done, damaged my knee actually. Still working on it. I'm getting it going. And it doesn't matter if I'm black or white, green or yellow, or what my political beliefs are, those laws are in effect. And if you were to step off this and not pay attention, you could fall too. Or you can use gravity to just support you as you go along your journey. You don't have to worry about, oh gosh, I gotta hang on, I might fly out of this planet. I don't know, you're here, you got this. At the same time, we can utilize gravity along with the other forces of nature and fly. You know, there's the lift and you get wings, and you know, the lift on the wings, you can fly. Or you can get one of those little things, suits that you wear with the things, and you just throw yourself off a cliff. Not that I would do that, but some of you might want to fling yourself off a cliff with that thing on. And what would happen? Well, gravity would pull at you, and the force of lift would carry you up, and you would glide. Wouldn't that be fun? That'd be wonderful. So the laws of the physics of this planet assist us. The spiritual laws do the same thing, whether we are aware of them or not. But the more aware we are of them, the more we can utilize them and have a more fulfilled life. So I'm going to go through the 12 laws, and we'll chat just briefly about each one. First spiritual law is the spiritual law of oneness. Now this is tricky. This is a tricky one, because here I am in this body, and there you are in your body, but we're one. But I'm unique and different. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But at the same time, we are human. And we are human beings with a spiritual core, with a spiritual essence. And that makes us the same. It's that spiritual essence that is the same as divine source. And so that's what makes us one. So I understand sorrow, and you understand sorrow. We both have had our feelings hurt, have we not? And at the same time, I understand elation because I've succeeded at something, and you have too. So we understand that. We have this commonality that works with us. And so as we recognize that oneness, and we treat each other, oh, I think the good book said something about treat one another as you would want to be treated, something like that, then that amplifies this oneness. It's a very powerful spiritual tool for us. And if I treat somebody else with hatred and despair, it's not going to be helpful for me either. Because we are one, we're connected. And so the essence of that energy is shared, whether I recognize it in that moment or not. There's more coming up with that one. The second spiritual law of the universe is vibration. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. This table is energy, I'm energy, you're energy. Everything is energy. And we can work with that energy. With that vibration thing comes the understanding that everything that is similar in energy is attuned to similar in energy. Like attracts like. You'll gravitate to people that are like you. That doesn't mean that it's exclusive, but let's face it, it's easier around people who get us. And that's why some of us are here in the Divine Fellowship, because we get each other. People out there, they look at us like we're nuts. And we kind of are. But like attracts like. That's part of that energy thing. Correspondence is the third law. Patterns repeat themselves. Have you noticed there's a seashell will have a spiral in it? The constellations have a spiral in it. Have you noticed patterns in your own life keep repeating and repeating and repeating? If we learn a lesson, then the patterns shift and change. If you notice that oh man, that same thing again. Usually takes me 3 times. I got to experience something at least 3 times before I go, oh, look, there it is again. And then I can take a look at it and, it's like running down the freeway as fast as I can go. And I go, oh, look, there was a pattern. And then the next time go, oh, I think there's a pattern. Yep, there was a pattern there. And then the third time it's like, yeah, I think there might be an exit I could get off and not repeat that same pattern again. And then I can do it differently. But it takes me at least 3 times of that same pattern. But those patterns are here not to punish us, but to help us to come into awareness. And the higher our awareness and the more often we pay attention, the clearer those patterns can be. And it's not like we just get smacked with something new. It's a different level of a pattern. So again, the spiral energy. So here you are and you're spiral to a higher level of awareness. So it's not like you learn something and, oh gosh, now you got to learn this terrible, horrible, miserable thing and spiral out of that. No, you keep ascending. We're on this ascension journey. Law 4, the law of attraction. We like this one. This is as you hold the energy vibration of what you really want, what your heart desires, you'll draw it to you. You'll draw it to you. It's an immutable fact. It's the law of the universe. It happens. So if you hold the energy of things that you hate in your awareness, what are you going to attract? That's what you hate. Okay, I have a funny story. So one of our members, she's not here today.
So we get to talk about her?
I mean, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name names. But she was looking for a dog. And,
Oh, you know her.
you know, yeah, I know her. She was going to adopt a dog. And she said, I absolutely do not want a big dog. No, I don't want a big dog. I absolutely do not want a male dog at all. Don't want a male dog. And he better not be hairy. So she takes herself to the pound. What did she fall in love with? A big male hairy dog. Because her energy was so profoundly wrapped into what she didn't like, and the universe doesn't know different. Didn't. The universe doesn't know no. The universe just knows energy. So she was going, male dog! Positive or negative, the universe goes, okay, we'll bring you a male dog. Big male dog! Okay, we'll bring you that big. Hairy! Oh, we've got just the dog for you. So her manifestation was perfect. She was manifesting perfectly. It was just manifesting in reverse. You often heard me say, worry is a prayer in reverse. You're manifesting what you're worrying about because you're worrying about it. Let go. Pray about it, write about it, burn it, send a prayer out, and let it go. That worry is attracting to you that which you don't want to have. Right? And you can see that pattern happening in your life, can you not? Don't we all? That which you fear will appear. Right? Darn. But it's a law. It's a law of the universe. You can't change that just because you're getting mad. No level of anger is going to short circuit that law. So you can just let that go. And no measure of regret or sorrow or fear is going to change that law. It's a law. It's what happens. It's like gravity. It's like gravity. What you have strong energy about is coming. So what do you have strong energy about? Because guess what? It's on its way. Unless you change your mind, change your heart, change your attitude. And then something different can be brought to you. So what's in your heart right now? Just take a stop, check. What's really here? Am I worried about something? Am I afraid of something? Am I distressed about something? Let that go. What does your heart really desire? What would just bless your life right now? Bring that into focus, into your awareness. Call that to you. You're calling it to you right now. Whoa, hey, come on, I'm ready for you. That's what's happening. Whether you know it or not, it's a law of the universe. It's happening for you right now. Now with that is the fifth law of spiritual law of the universe, and that's inspired action yields results. So inspired action, that is taking the next right step. Okay, that's the goal I'd like to draw to myself. This is the outcome I'd like to experience. This is the abundance I'd like to experience. What's my next right step? If I'm worried and overwhelmed about all this other stuff, I can't take the next right step. But if I can focus and say, okay, that's the goal, what could I do next that will help me get in that direction, move in that space? And just do that. Do the next right step. And what happens is your life becomes inspired. It's a law of the universe. They say that. It's written. So I found it on the internet. So it's true. But what happens here is that when we get in that mindset, then all of a sudden something will show up for us to do. Or someone will say something, goes, oh, a trigger. That's a good idea. Because we're living this inspired life. And then one step leads to the next step, leads to the next step. In the meantime, the goal is coming towards you. You're not chasing it down. It's coming towards you. You're just going to meet in the middle and meet faster. How fun is that? Next one's a little tricky. This is the perpetual transmutation of energy. Easy for me to say. What that means is that if I'm hanging around happy people, I will tend to be more happy. If I'm hanging around negative, complaining, whiny people, I will tend to be more negative and whiny. That's a law. You can't be a happy, joyful person, hang around whiny, negative, cranky people, and think you're going to fix it. Think you're going to change them. Think you're going to uplift them. Well, you might a little. Because see, here's what's happened. If you have a tube and it's in the shape of a U and you pour water in it, is the water going to stay on one side? No. It's going to balance itself out. Because why gravity? It's the law of the universe. So this law of the universe is saying that energy is going to balance itself out. So if I'm happy-go-lucky and I'm around somebody who's not, what's going to happen? They're going to be uplifted and I'm going to be it's going to balance each other out. So just make sure if you have to be around those people at work, or if you have family members that fall into the negative, cranky category, balance that out with being around happy, joyful people. You're energetically, it's necessary. You know, it's like birds of a feather flock together. We need one another. It's essential for us. Now, if you have two happy people, what's going to happen? The energy's going to even get higher. It's even going to get better. You're going to even be more joyful. So hang out with happy, joyful people when you can. Energy seeks its own level. Universal law number 7, spiritual universal law number 7, cause and effect. Every action has an according reaction. Now what that means is that when you do something in the spiritual realm, physical realm will respond. If you pray about something and get centered in your mindset, the universe is going to respond to that. If you have in your heart a sense of experiencing something new and joyful and exciting, the universe will send that to you. Because you have created an energy field within yourself. You've started an energy motion, and the universe will respond to that. The universe responds to our energy. What we do is what's going to come back for us. Karma, karmic kickback. You know, the good book says, as a man reaps, so shall he, as a man sows, so shall he reap. If you plant cherries, you're going to get cherries. If you plant barbed wire, it's going to be barbed wire when you dig it up. You know, it just is. If you plant weeds, weeds are going to grow. If you plant joy in your life, joy is going to happen. Joy will be what you reap out of that. Does that make sense? So that it's imperative to put out there what you really want, because the universe wants to respond to you, wants to bring to you exactly what's in your heart space, what's in your energy field, is going to manifest for you. Cause and effect. Compensation. Receive what you get. This again is like same thing. I don't know why they had to say it twice, but they did. Oh, because back to cause and effect. Gratitude yields more things to be grateful for. Gratitude yields more things to be grateful for. Fear leads more things to be afraid of. Sorrow leads more things to be sorrowful for. So there's a cause and effect. And what we do for ourselves is expressed in the universe. Universal law number 9. This one is kind of fun.
What was number 8?
Compensation. You receive what you put out there. Karma. Sometimes that karmic kickback is not too much fun, is it? Sometimes it's good. Spiritual universal law number 9. Relativity. This is a fun one. So our perceptions flavor our world. So I might think that I'm poor because my Uncle George has lots of money. Until I realize that Sarah over there doesn't have half of what I have. Then all of a sudden I feel rich. What changed? My perception. That's all that changed. So our perceptions are flavored by our relative experiences. And if we feel like we've just had a horrible childhood and that's just terrible and we'll never get over that, that feels really terrible until you find somebody that's had a worse time of it. So it's all relative. There's always somebody better off than you, and there's always somebody else that's worse off than you. And so it's important to just keep everything in perspective. I was at my daughter-in-law's house the other day, and we're talking about the grandson who's in his early 20s, and he's taken up jogging. And he went 5 miles, jogged 5 miles. She said, I can't walk a mile. I don't think I could walk a full mile. And I said, really? And I said, how far is it to your daughter's school? And she said, oh, it's a couple of blocks. And my son was standing there. I said, how far is it in mileage, do you think? So it's probably about a quarter mile. So I said, you walk her to and from school twice a day, don't you? She went, yeah. You walk a mile every day. And she went, oh my gosh, I walk a mile. I'm so thrilled, I'm so excited. I didn't think I could do that. It's all perspective. It's putting it in perspective. She thought a mile was a long ways. Well, maybe it is. But when she put it in perspective of what she was already doing in her life, it wasn't. So when you find yourself traumatized by the world, Try to put that in perspective. Get a different perspective. Ask somebody else their perspective on it. Because you may only have one aspect of perspective about that. And as you gather more perspective from other people's or from experiences, then all of a sudden that sort of thing shifts. Isn't that fun? So polarity is the 10th one. Everything has an opposite. There's always the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin. And that's why sometimes we call it the best, worst thing that ever happened to you. When you're going through it, oh man, this is the worst thing ever. And then come to find out later, oh man, I learned so much. I got so much good out of that. It connected me with some really good people. I put me on a whole nother path that I didn't even think was possible. And it becomes the best thing that ever happened to you. That's that opposite polarity thing. But it's the best, worst things. Sometimes they're the same thing. Sometimes our best quality is our greatest flaw. Sometimes, like maybe I'm a really kind person. That's a really great thing. Sometimes I'm too kind and slips into enabling or slips into people taking advantage of me. And that's not a good thing. So there's two sides to that coin as well. That's the other side of polarity. And then the 11th law is rhythm. This is everything happens in a rhythmic pattern of time. So there's seasons. Summer slips into fall, fall slips into winter, winter slips into spring, spring slips into summer. It's just this happening, a rhythm of life. So some days I feel really, really good. Sometimes I feel really, really bad. And when I get into the bad, or if I'm having a bad day, if I think this is all there is, it's just awful. That's not the truth, because we'll cycle back out of that and some good stuff happens. And then, life is a cycle. There's a rhythm of life. This relates to the law of impermanence. Everything changes. And not necessarily for the bad, but change happens. We can't stop it. It's a universal law. Things are going to change. And the key is to change with it, becoming adaptable with it, and being able to enjoy where we are in the moment and know that there's a blessing, whatever it feels like. Whatever it feels like. The last one is weird. It's the law of gender. Okay, I'm not talking about I'm a girl and you're not. I'm talking about energies of masculine and feminine, yin and yang, action and calm, action and stillness, give and take. Those are the energies that are ours to use, because sometimes, whatever gender you are, sometimes it's time to take action. And sometimes, whatever gender you are, it's time to be still. And knowing that that's a universal law. Maybe when you're really up, that's the time to utilize this law of gender and take action. And when you're down, that's time to utilize the law of gender and be still. And know that everything is happening in its right time and in the right way. If we try to force ourselves into action when we're not feeling it, how does that work for us usually?
Not good.
Not good. So it's about allowing these universal laws to work together in our behalf. Just like you can take gravity plus the law of aerodynamics and be able to glide, you can glide through life by utilizing the laws of the universe that the universe has set up for you. And we don't have to even be aware of them. They're there, they're happening. And as I was relating these to you, couldn't you feel, oh yeah, I remember, oh yeah, I know that one. You know them. You know them. I may have spoken them in a specific order that I found online, but you know these laws. You live these laws. So now if you can take these laws and apply them together, oh my gosh, how powerful that would be. So if you're going through a difficult time, let's say you're in this rhythm that's low energy, really low energy, you can use the law of relativity and say, oh, I remember when it's good and I remember when it's been worse, so I'm okay. You bring that law of awareness into that. You can, again, use this law of gender and just be still for a while. You can use the law of cause and effect and say, okay, how did I get here? Now I can apply this inspired action. If there's any action to be taken, maybe the action is doing some reading. Maybe some action is reaching out to a friend so we can get that universal law of like attracts like, applying that and getting our energy a little higher, remembering that vibrational energy. And then when we realize that we are connected, not just to one another, but we're also connected to divine source, then we have this sense of peace. So whether we're in a good space or a high energy space or a low energy space, doesn't matter, it's all good. It's all sacred ground. It's all sacred ground. Mr. Phil, would you join me up front, please?
I saw it jump out and grab you.
So that was the law of cause and effect. Okay, communion. This is a physical expression of that oneness. Oneness, we share this as a shared ritual ceremony, and we're also sharing with divine source. We're all part of that. And this cup is gluten-free, and, oh, that's not gluten-free. I'm gonna put you out there. And the little square things is unleavened bread, and then the animal crackers are
I have the same problem
whatever.
over here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
We who are gluten-free are picky. See? Picky, picky, picky.
Now that you've touched them all.
Wasn't sure it's good.
I washed before I came here, before I got here. Would you join me in prayer, please? Loving Spirit of Light, thank you for the universal laws that govern our life, guide us, and support us. Help us to be mindful of them and aware of them so that our lives are harmonious, blessed, and amplified. We ask that you walk with us in all things. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Let's see. Did not want to go down the right tube. Would you join us in prayer again, please? Loving Spirit of Light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life. All of it. Help us to understand life. Help us to understand our purposefulness within this life. Bless us, walk with us, bring us joy. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. That was a heavy sigh.
Hey, Jimmy, you want to do this? You okay? Okay, okay. Okay.
You were in the right neck of the woods, just
Yeah.
one over.
We saw each other at the car show yesterday.
That's right. It was so fun. I love all those oldies cars.
They're not old to me.
Me either, a lot of them. There's all kinds of new ones there.
But we all know how much we love our church home. And every little bit is helpful. Like, we have bills at our own homes, and our own homes need to be taken care of, just like our church home. And every little bit counts, so even if it's just a little bit, it's very thankful, and will be used immensely. So
Thank you.
I sure appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. So for our guided meditation today, we have a special blessing who just stepped out of the room. You're fine. We're going to have, Valerie is going to be doing our guided meditation for us today, so let's give Valerie a big hand.